for months, if not so for years. I have made video after video after video telling you all how to not be stupid on social media. And you could think that's some funny little gimmick. You could think that's some nice little coy way to garner a reaction or interaction. But no, genuinely, I get sick of seeing people doing and saying dumb things on social media that rewards nothing but attention and consequences. And while these people are getting the attention, they're ignoring the consequences long enough to make it seem like everyone who's criticizing or everyone who's talking about it in a negative light, oh, they're just hating. They don't want to understand. They hate the success, blah, 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 blah. But no, genuinely, when you set yourself up to start saying and doing things, there's the potential for great success. There's also the potential of consequences you might not be ready for, whether it be mentally or financially. Because what does it say? That we can finally conclude one of the dumbest arcs in internet true crime discourse history, where a grown-ass woman falsely accused another grown woman of murder or planning murder and now has to pay $10 million. For the people in the back who haven't been caught up to speed, this is Ashley Gillard, better known on the internet as the TikTok psychic, but around these parts, a dumbass. A dumbass who decided it would be in her best interest to get online and start spewing baseless hot takes with no information and no evidence about a woman named Rebecca Schofield, and accusing Rebecca Schofield of committing murders or planning said murders, and continuing to spit that take even though there was no crumb of evidence to back that up.
Teacher who potentially had the 4 Idaho students killed. She's the one who ordered the execution. As you can see from here, she may have been a part of LGBTQ community, and she may have dated Kaylee or wanted to. Brief synopsis of who killed the University of Idaho college students and why. Their murder was ordered by Rebecca Schofield. Her targets were Kaylee and Madison. Rebecca was highly interested in Kaylee. She spent a lot of time fantasizing and thinking about her. They may have had some sort of fling. But ultimately, because of stubbornness and inability to see eye to eye, they broke it off. When they broke it off, Kaylee and Madison was seen together, and Rebecca did not like this because she felt that it could cause her trouble. She could get snitched on for dating a student. She was so consumed and worried about losing respect, admiration, and her possessions that she hired the killer to carry out the murder. The killer did it simply for money and to be back into school and so that he can finish his studies.
It got to a point where this woman was sent a cease and desist. And it's at that point, you as an online figure or somebody who spends their time online talking about things, you have a choice. You have a choice to stop or keep it going. And if you keep it going, there's the risk of legal action. And when you're met with legal papers telling you essentially to stop, it would be in your best interest, if you don't have the financial means to pay it forward, in making sure that while you're still spewing all of these stupid lies, you can financially support yourself while doing it. This dumb motherfucker decided she was going to challenge the entire system and Rebecca Schofield in the hopes that she could use her psychic powers or bring psychic TikTok tarot card information to the court in the hopes to convince a judge and a jury that this woman killed college students and had some weird fanatical love story with one of the motherfuckers that got killed, and because they didn't touch that clit, they ended up getting them killed.
I haven't served yet, but I'm actually gleaming with excitement. I am going to immediately start planning because I cannot wait to present my ideas in court regarding Rebecca Schofield and her role in the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. How she planned it, how it was her initial idea, how she hijacked the court, how she enticed him and energized him and got him ready to kill his own best friend. Since they have the inability to understand it, I'm glad it can be me. So I spoke too soon. This is the case request for filing for a lawsuit against me from Rebecca Schofield. I'm not stopping, so let's just start there. But 2, this is giving us information about what her alleged alibi is for the night of the murder. And now I have information about what she's saying her alibi is. I'm gonna dig deep into that too. Also, why does she need 3 lawyers for me?
To sue you. The smartest people get good lawyers and will get as many as they can to sue you.
3 lawyers. Why does she need such a big defense team if she's so innocent? Why does she need all of that?
You know, everybody, I would just like everybody to know this outright. When you're trying to sue somebody, you hire as many as you can and the best at the job. Don't take her legal advice. You will end up owing people a lot of money, or you'll be in jail because you took her legal advice.
That for me. You can screenshot this, but this is her complaint and those are her lawyers. You can Google that document. You can Google Schofield versus Gillard or Ashley Gillard, Martell, Idaho, and it'll pull up. Why does she need 3 lawyers for little O / big O for real, me?
Because you made many TikToks pointing at this woman as the orchestrator of murder with no evidence. That is why. And the thing that's bothering me a little bit, I don't know if this is her personality or if this is part of the character of being on social media, but these people who are facing real consequences, I don't know what it is about these people. They face a real consequence that's outside of the realm of social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and they just sit there like, oh, well, why is this happening to me? Oh, little old me, you so mad at me? You're doing all this just for me? Oh, wow, why is this? Because you did something so damn dumb, lawyers have to be involved. You petulant child. You sitting there doing tarot readings on murder mysteries trying to be an internet sleuth. What you should have done is do a tarot card on your own readings to figure out how you gonna get out of this. And you just going in giving your ideas ain't gonna be it. You moron. Do you not understand? When you are being sued for defamation, you can't go in the courtroom in front of a judge, a jury, and all your peers and say, I have all these notes about how this person, based on my tarot cards, is obviously the one who did this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a tarot card reading right now. Ooh, everybody gather around. Let's pay attention to this right here. Look at this. Oh, let me... Oh, that's your reading. You know what that means for you, random lady who thinks she knows everything based on some cards? Oh my, a condom. You know what that means? You fucked. Yes, all of this is shit that she was saying and burping out and having fun with, not realizing that there were legal consequences. And it's been years where she's been trying to stall it. She's been trying to get cases thrown out and it's failed. And we reached a point a few months ago where she was found guilty. And it was at that point, all that was left is to figure out how much this dumbass was gonna pay. And as I said at the beginning, $10 million. Imagine a scenario where you are spreading a lie about somebody and they're asking you legally to stop and you don't. And you just push the envelope further and further and further and further. You daring these motherfuckers. You walking with confidence thinking that you are somehow going to change everybody's mind and somehow prove based off of nothing that this woman is a murderer, and you fail, and now you gotta run up 10 mil because you couldn't just shut the fuck up and let things play out. A jury in Boise awarded $10 million in damages Friday to the University of Idaho professor who sued a Texas woman for defamation over fabricated claims repeatedly made on social media that the academic was responsible for the Moscow college student murders. The jurors deliberated for just under 2 hours before handing down their decision, which awarded Professor Rebecca Schofield far more than what her attorneys asked for in their closing arguments. That is a wonderful thing. That is a beautiful moment. Can I just say, you're expecting a certain amount and you get more? That's just a beautiful moment that I could only wish on my greatest of allies and supporters. When you are being defamed and a motherfucker is expecting a certain outcome and they don't get it, and you're just hoping for maybe a couple thousand, couple 100,000, and you get 10 mil? Chef's kiss all around. Schofield testified this week during a 4-day federal trial over monetary damages that she developed severe anxiety, PTSD, and intense nerve pain throughout her body as a direct result of the false public accusations. The Moscow resident said the physical and emotional impacts made it difficult for her to work in her position as chair of the U of I's history department and also caused irreversible reputational harm. Without evidence, Gillard posted photos and contact information for Schofield with claims that she had an affair with one of the female victims and tried to cover it up by ordering her death with no evidence. The 7-member jury, composed of 4 women and 3 men, ruled unanimously for the dollar figure directed to Schofield. The bulk of the sum, $7.5 million, is for punitive damages, which are intended to punish the defendant and deter her and others from similar behavior in the future. I'm just going to be honest, it's not going to deter people in the future. You have motherfuckers who will get DMs from friends or family of a person who might have taken their life, telling them to take videos down, and these motherfuckers are telling these family members who are going through this, these friends who are going through this, to take their personal feelings out of it. So it's not really going to deter anybody, but hopefully, with it being something that garnered a lot of attention at the time and now, it might make somebody just reel it back just a little bit. Just reel it back so that you don't end up in a position where you are potentially paying 7.5 and 10 million for things you could have stopped doing for free. But that old lust for attention, she is a dangerous one. The remainder of the damages were compensatory, meaning they covered actual losses, including economic costs, such as medical bills, and non-economic costs, such as mental and emotional pain and suffering. On the last day of the trial on Friday, Gillard presented her defense and called just one witness, herself. And for this, I need you all to go watch these Atozi live streams, because I'm gonna be honest, him reading off either his own transcript or a transcript that he got from the court is probably the most head-scratching thing, but it's also funny as fuck hearing how this woman was in court trying to defend herself by herself with no help from anybody else. And it just makes me wish that it was recorded and live streamed in real time.
I want to introduce Exhibit 520. And 520 is proof that she's a psychic. And this is a screenshot from a text message with her and her aunt. Okay, so the opposing counsel, they go objection based on relevance. And essentially it seems like Ashley has nobody to testify based on her character, which is why she's sitting there by herself, and on her list of people that were going to testify, or her witnesses, she had a witness list, and she put 4 people down: Ashley Gilliard, Ashley Gilliard, Ashley Gilliard, and Ashley Gilliard. So she wrote herself 4 times. So today, I guess we witnessed 4 different Ashley personalities on the stand.
The unique situation played out similarly earlier in the trial when Schofield's lead attorney, Wendy Olson, a former U.S. attorney for Idaho, presented the plaintiff's case and called Gillard to the stand. Gillard then cross-examined herself in a question and answer format before jurors. Gillard said, because it needs to be stated how dumb this fucking woman is, she watched YouTube videos to train herself to read tarot cards. She practiced on herself and by watching reality TV shows to predict their outcomes. This is why I believe, and you could mention that she falsely accused somebody of murder, which is also the main reason why she's paying the $10 million. This paragraph right here deserves $20 million, because you can't sit there and think, okay, I'm going to quit my job in the government and I'm going to spend my dedicated time pressing this part of my head and then looking into the sky and aligning the star with something about a fucking Gatorade being in Mercury. And then I'm going to translate that into predicting TV show results, and then somehow that gives me the credence to say a woman committed murder because she was mad she wasn't getting no pussy. You see why I'm gonna sit here and say instead of 10 million, this bitch deserves 40 million in terms of a fine. Throughout her self-directed testimony, Gillard sought to convince the jury that she believed everything she said in her tarot reading videos about the U of I professor was true. She said when she began making TikTok videos about the case and Schofield in November of 2022, she expected to raise awareness about the murders and push authorities to investigate potential leads. Well, let me just say, as someone who saw the news about this, I can tell you with certainty, the police did investigate and they did look into it, but they didn't do it because of you. They were not sitting on their hands and knees like, okay, we got a bunch of dead people. I guess we could take our time. No, they were on it from jump. and they found the guy while you were lying about somebody. They found Brian, what was his name, Koberger. They got him. They got confession out of him. He's currently in jail. All of this was going on while you were lying about somebody. And fuck the cease and desist. You could have saw the news that a guy was arrested. You could have been watching the trial and watching him get convicted, be sentenced, and be sitting in jail. And that could have compelled you to just be like, my bad, everybody. I sat here and I falsely accused somebody of something, but the information that was presented via the court system and via the great work of the investigators, I was wrong. Oops, my bad, G. But instead, you decided to say fuck it because you needed more of a reason to be right than accepting the fact that you were biblically fucking wrong. And that's why you gotta pay that manyan. So much so, to back up my point, on December 27th of 2022, when the MPD wrote a statement that they didn't believe she was involved, I kind of lost a little bit of hope that she would be investigated. This is Gillard saying this because when the fucking police had to say, yo, stop this shit, this dumb motherfucker was determined for somebody to look into a random professor. Gillard told jurors she tried to gain access to case information but was denied by law enforcement and court officials. Thank you. Olson noted that Gillard's attempts to gain more information, including a records request to Moscow police and a motion for access to the documents in the Koberger case, weren't submitted until 2025, nearly 3 years after she accused Schofield and after Koberger already had been arrested and in one case admitted guilt. That tells me the greatest thing possible. It's that this woman is much like all of these people who don't care about mental health and instead will talk about racial fan fiction when a black man ends up dead and nobody could figure out why. And the first thing to jump to is the mental health and deciding that it was the best course of action, which it is not, to take your own life. These motherfuckers will just say shit in the hopes nobody will see the story that they're saying and say, hold on, let me just poke a hole in this really quick. Because when you poke a hole into a random fuck story, they don't have anything else but to just their way through it. And it says a lot when you falsely accuse somebody and then the heat's on you legally, so you start panicking, and while you put on this nice bravado for social media, I'm not worried, I'm not scared, you wait 3 fucking years to gain any information that could help or destroy you. You didn't try to get any information in 2022. Fuck, even in 2023. You waited until 2025. That should have been the moment where somebody in your fucking life, never mind, people don't want to associate with her in her fucking life.
They are filing frivolous documents preventing me from getting evidence. They defame me on the news media. My business has been negatively impacted. My reputation has been negatively impacted. My relationships have been negatively impacted. I'm dealing with all these repercussions because I tried to fucking help some motherfuckers who don't deserve to be helped.
Let me tell you what you actually did, Let me tell you what you actually did, sweetheart. Let me help you out as a fellow African American in the year 2023. You wanted to be hot on social media. You saw something on the news that you thought, wow, this is great. Oh, this interesting information. I'm going to have the time of my life talking about this. You wanted to be a journalist. You wanted to be the hardworking internet sleuth that solved the case. You did not go to the crime scene. You did not do investigative journalism. You did not put in the time to do interviews. You did none of that. You sat comfortably in your home and picked up some random trinkets and dildos and all these things and thought, wow, I solved the case. I know who did it. You pointed at a random woman and you said, that's who it is. Go get her. Then you faced every necessary and, quite frankly, reasonable consequence under the sun for that. And then you wondering why your business took a hit. Maybe some family members don't want to talk to you right now. Maybe your friends see this and they're embarrassed by you. Maybe your family embarrassed by you, all that. That's your fault. That's your fault. Because you had countless opportunities to stop this that were in front of your face. A cease and desist letter, the police capturing the person who did it. And you kept going. You didn't stop. So no wonder your business is going to take a hit. Because when you are that publicly embarrassing, nobody want to invest time and money into you. Nobody want to make a profit off you. They embarrassed by you because your brand, your name is not uplifting and inspiring. It's detrimental. And the fact that you still so confident about this, it's embarrassing.
That court system, stuff on my record that I didn't do or didn't cause, lies, family members joining in and telling more lies about me, putting those lies.
So your family coming out. So, in life, there are these moments in time where you have all these different people saying you the problem. And sometimes we stubborn human beings, we don't see ourselves as the problem. But sometimes we got to have a mirror in front of our face. And from the outside looking in, you have not presented yourself as a reliable source. The news media has accurately portrayed you as somebody who is not a reliable source. The police department has portrayed you as somebody that's not a reliable source. The courtroom has proven that you are not a reliable source. You yourself have proven you are not a reliable source with this video. Your family is proving to be another source that you are not a reliable individual. How long until you look in the mirror and say, you the problem? As Olsen cross-examined Gillard, she asked the TikToker if she had control over the statements she made when she didn't have the facts to support them. And I want you to understand what I'm about to read and get a grip on how stupid somebody truly could be when they are faced with the reality that they are fucking themselves. It was my understanding that I do not have to hold facts or documents to exercise speech. Gillard replied and added that tarot readings are opinion at best. In her closing argument, Olsen said that Gillard ultimately made 112 videos about the University of Idaho murders, the last of which was posted in August of 2025 and called Schofield's experience a nightmare that has never ended. In stark contrast, Gillard's closing statements denied any impact on Schofield. The Texas woman said that she was serving the public by using her videos to get justice for the victims of the murders and claimed her accusations against Schofield were justified. It is reasonable in my shoes that I believe Schofield to be part of these murders. It is reasonable for a person to want to warn the public if they think a killer is on the loose and still a part of the community. Any suggestion that her life was interrupted was her own choice. The brain dead activity that has come from this astronomical. You spent dedicated time falsely accusing somebody, outright saying they did it, and then shifting it to they orchestrated, they planned it because you tried to save your ass just a little bit, to now, after all this time and us finding out that you didn't even bother to help the community and warn them about something until 2025, you just wanted to go viral saying something. You wanted to be perceived as the all-knowing psychic because you got bimbling dumb fucks who are middle-aged who need some type of guidance in their life, and unfortunately, they picked you, and you decided, I'm going to give you some closure. I'm going to point my finger somewhere, and wherever it ends up, that's who did it. And you failed. And you ignore the damage you've done to somebody's reputation, because there will be, even though it'll be a small amount, there will be a dumbass out there who still believes in you, who still believes you're right and everyone else is wrong, and they're just targeting you and they're trying to punish you. You're the dumbass here, but there will still be people who believe you. And that's the problem. The fact that you spent dedicated time crafting a story based off of nothing, and there are still going to be some people out there who believe in you. That's the damage. You have falsely painted somebody as a murderer. And even though she gets the win in the $10 million, the reputation will still have to be repaired over time in getting people who may know that name Rebecca Schofield and think to themselves, wait a minute, isn't this a person who's tied to something? Because I heard on TikTok, and that's the problem. You've defamed somebody, and you can't even have the testicular fortitude to say, my bad. Oops, you're making it seem like this is all just one big fucking shit show that's overblown because nobody's listening to you. You bimbling dumbass. You bungle fuck of a human being. You set yourself up from the beginning because everybody with a brain recognized that you were fucking something up for for yourself, not the investigation, not for the victims. You were fucking up your own life. And while you can live or pretend to live as lavish as you want, that $10 million gonna fucking hurt. And you might try to fight it in court. But honestly, I hope if there's any layer of peace that can exist in this world, and as I'm recording it, it doesn't seem to be the case, I'd hope that anytime you try to appeal it, they just deny it and deny it and deny it and deny it to the point where you just end up paying it. And hold on, I'm getting a psychic reading. Oh, wait a minute, I'm feeling this one. Oh, I'm feeling this one, boys. Oh, I'm getting it. I'm really feeling this one, boys. This one is going to be the one. This one's going to be the... What? What's this? Oh, a spoon? Oh, this is all you gonna have left after you pay all that fucking money selling that shit. So congratulations on being the greatest example on why it's important to always fact check before you start burping out random shit on social media. It's always important to dot your I's and cross your T's before you start falsely accusing somebody on social media. It is important that before you sit there and make up a fucking story, you know some details about the story. Because if you get it right, you could get all this attention and, oh my God, you got it right. Oh, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to donate. I'm going to support you in any way. But if you get it wrong, there's the potential that a family might be pissed off at you in your egotistical ways, or depending on how stupid you are, you might be paying $10 million. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you think 10 million is not enough. Personally, I want it to be 50 million because, you know, the number could keep going up just on how stupid it is, because I need more motherfuckers to be an example for other motherfuckers on what to not do and how to not go about it once you get some legal papers. And I will see you all in the next one. Mwah! Goodbye.
She's going to realize that it's very hard to outrun consequences of her actions because they seem to never stop. She's going to try not to panic and rush her decisions, and she's going to plan her escape. She's going to feel like she has options, and she's going to try to keep a level head. She's going to be relieved that the person who is in the middle of the gossip is not someone she knows, but she'll still feel a little betrayal. She's relieved to see that it appears that people, although are hearing what I'm saying, are not taking me seriously. That's what it appears, though.
She's so dumb she make my throat itch.